What's up, guys? You know, I wasn't going to do a Dragon Ball Super review this week, but I got a few messages, some of them on YouTube, and it really motivated me to make me feel like I had to get this done, even though I'm a little bit busy. So I just want to let you guys know that if you enjoy this content, your comments, your messages, they mean a lot. They directly influence me getting this done or not, because it makes me feel like it's worth my time when other stuff is going on. All that aside, let's talk about Dragon Ball Super episode 98. So let's start with the thing that everyone was excited about from last week's episode, which is Goku's quote-unquote new form. Obviously, after watching this week's episode, we found out that it's not really a new form, it's just a shield that him and Gohan put together to deal with Lavender's poison. I thought that was really interesting. One, because it shows the intelligence of Gohan, but Goku as well. And it shows that they take Lavender's poison pretty seriously. It's not like, hey, we're just going to knock this guy out and he doesn't matter. It was a threat. It's a problem if you get hit with that poison. I also thought it was interesting that Vegeta could almost instantly use it as well. But it just goes to show the level of fighters that these guys are. Like, that doesn't take anything from the show for me. I thought it was interesting when Vegeta jumped in and started helping Goku. Like, Vegeta's reaction to Goku is always like, every time he comes to Goku's aid, it's always like, yo, like what are you doing, bro? Like why are you taking so long with these noobs? Like, you know, that's always his reaction. But it was good to see Vegeta get so much screen time, and I really like to see Vegeta and Goku team up like this and win. I feel like somehow the show always manages to give Vegeta a loss, and they didn't do it this episode. I was waiting for it. I thought Vegeta was going to get knocked out or his powers drained or something like that, but they didn't do it. So that was really good to see. One thing that threw me off in their fight, though, was hearing Whis say that they are conserving Super Saiyan Blue so they don't run out of power. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Seriously, please, if you know more about this than I do, let me know. But I thought in Dragon Ball Super, it was acknowledged that going in Super Saiyan Blue actually uses less energy than going in Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. I thought that in Super Saiyan Blue, they had more control over their ki and how their ki was spent. They were also calmer and just overall better. That's why Goku pretty much stopped using Super Saiyan for a long time, up until he started fighting certain people again. So am I incorrect in saying that? Like, that's really confusing to me, because I feel the same way. I feel like, why aren't they just doing this whole thing in Super Saiyan Blue? And the explanation doesn't match up with what I thought was explained early in the series. So let me know. I would really like to have a discussion about that with someone who knows more about it. But let me jump into the meat and potatoes of this episode. Let me jump into the big shock that I did not expect. And that is the fact that Universe 9 was erased after Goku and Vegeta defeated all their fighters. Now, you probably saw my previous reviews. I said that the universes aren't going to get erased, because Dragon Ball Super, at the end of the day, is a show for younger audience, and they don't want to go through the trouble of creating all these characters just to permanently remove them from the series. Plus, we all know death in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super isn't like death in other animes. Like, you have this afterworld and like people are alive but not alive and all that. All that being said, I did not expect this, right? I saw some, just being honest, I saw some leaks that said that this was going to happen, but I also saw other leaks that said things like, when people get knocked off the platform, they were going to get erased immediately, etc., etc. And none of that stuff was true. So I did not expect this to be true, right? And it is. Now, I think it's very likely that something, either Zeno is going to be convinced, to bring the universes back, or someone's going to use the Super Dragon Balls to wish them back or something. I still do not think that that Universe 9 and whatever other universe gets erased is going to be permanently gone, right? I do think there's going to be a way to bring them back. And you know what would be insane? This just occurred to me. What if Universe 7 loses? What if we get erased and it's up to Jiren and the whole Pride Troopers to convince the gods to give us a second chance? What if that happens? That'll be insane. No one will see that coming if Universe 7 gets erased. But that aside, I didn't see this coming. And even, I want to say this, even if Universe 9 gets brought back, this is a statement. This is a statement that Dragon Ball Super is willing to go to length. They're willing to kill people. They're willing to and not just people, this is an entire universe. This is trillions of lives. And I guess they did this in the future with the Trunks saga. So, you know, I don't know why I don't see that as that big of a deal, but Zeno already did this. So he's willing to do this. But this was a surprise to me. Lastly, I want to spend some time talking about what everyone else is talking about this week about Dragon Ball Super, which is, are the angels evil? A lot of people have been saying from the jump that the Grand Priest is evil. I don't know if I agree with that. But then we saw that the angel from Universe 9, the episode ended with that sinister look on his face and that smile. That's also a statement. And if the angels aren't evil, there at least we know for a fact that the creators are trying to strongly imply that everything isn't what it seems with these guys, right? That's a fact, including the Grand Priest with that look on his face. I think it might be a statement of power in regards to the Grand Priest. At the end of the day, these gods of destructions are here. You know, these other angels are here. All these incredible fighters are here. But compared to like the Grand Priest, they're still rats in a maze. You know, like he is just above all of them, looking down on them. And I think that scene where he was looking super sinister was just to reinforce that. This is actually a really hard question to answer. And I want to give a definitive answer. I want to not be vague when trying to answer, are the angels evil or not? Right? The reason why it's hard is because I can't figure out their motives if they are evil. We don't know enough about them to understand what they want, what drives them. But at the same time, I can't deny the fact that there are some strong hints being thrown into the series randomly to imply that they are. And I'm going to tell you guys what my answer is right now. What I've concluded after thinking about this for a little bit. I don't think the angels are particularly evil. I think that they are just petty and indifferent. And they are playing on a much larger scale than anyone we've ever seen before, right? It's like when we saw that episode where Zeno was playing marbles with planets and knocking out millions of lives, that's really crazy. This is a scale that we haven't seen before. We saw at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z when Vegeta was first introduced that, yeah, they destroyed a planet. And that was the first time we've seen stuff on planetary scales, right? And that was pretty crazy. It's like, how do you get much more evil than Vegeta? And then we met Frieza, who was wiping out entire races and planets after planets after planets. And it was like, man, how do you get much more evil than this? And now we're seeing people who have the capacity to wipe out universes. And I think it's just from us as the viewer, it's not so much that we're looking at evil characters, we're just trying to wrap our heads around this new scale of destruction that's been introduced in the series, right? Like, we don't really call Beerus evil, and he wipes out entire planets, entire civilizations, millions of lives without even thinking about it, right? It's like a joke to him. In fact, the only reason the Earth is still here, according to the series, is because of food, which is such an insignificant thing when you think about, the millions and billions of lives that Beerus would have just wiped out if the Earth didn't suit his palate. But we've seen this before. We've seen planetary-sized destruction before. And this is why we could almost excuse it. I feel like if Beerus was the first time we've ever seen someone destroy the planet, everyone would have felt like this guy is 100% evil. There was no justification. There was no, oh, this is his job, or he's maintaining the balance, or any of that stuff. It would have just been, this guy is evil, we hate him, and Goku needs to figure out how to kill him. So my point is not that the angels are evil. It's just that we can't wrap our heads around their reaction to this new type of destruction, this huge universal level destruction that we are seeing for the first time. But we got to keep in mind that it's likely that they are not seeing this for the first time. So in the same way that you probably won't freak out if you see Beerus destroy a planet, they probably won't freak out if they see a universe get destroyed. So I think the reason why we had that close-up of that smile is to show that these gods are petty and incredibly dangerous. You can't take them lightly. Not so much that they're evil. Now, I realize that there's a good chance that I could just get my foot shoved in my mouth, and they could reveal later on that there's this giant plan by all the gods to, I don't know, take out all the universes or something like that. But if that's the case, I just feel like there are smarter ways to go about it. That being said, though, if it was shown that the priests were planning something sinister, were manipulating Zeno, which seems kind of likely, because let's face it, Zeno is kind of stupid. Anyone can manipulate Zeno if they want to. It would make sense that, like, the Grand Priest, for example, was the reason why Zeno was exposed to this tournament, the first tournament between Champa and Beerus. He opened up a portal or something so that Zeno could see it, knowing that Zeno would be entertained by it, knowing that Zeno would want to have sort of an overall tournament. He could have been the one whispering in Zeno's ear the entire time, like, let's get rid of these universes, etc., etc. So that route is definitely open, and I'm not trying to close that door. I think that's a possibility, but I just feel like at its core, this has less to do with good and evil from the priest and more to do with us trying to wrap our heads around this new scale of destruction that's been introduced into the series. Anyway, that's it for me this week, guys. I really appreciate everyone taking the time out to listen to my thoughts for this episode. If you liked it, leave your thoughts below. Subscribe to the channel. I can't believe we're already over 100 subscribers already. Like, this means a lot. So subscribe to the channel and let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next week, where I may or may not have a special guest reviewing the episode with me. Alright, guys, take it easy. Bye. Lastly, if you made it this far, then you obviously like the content. You obviously like the discussion. So just hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Like, come on, it means a lot. It's going to motivate me. I'm going to make more. I'm going to make better ones. So just hit the subscribe button. Alright, that's it. Talk to you guys later.